You're listening to the CIP podcast, the Study Abroadcast Season 6, Episode 2. In this show, we explore the world of study abroad, offering advice, insights, and travel stories. I'm your host, Andrew. I'm currently in my fourth year of the Arts and Sciences program, a CIP peer helper, and I did an exchange semester at Linköping University in Sweden in the fall of 2023. Today, I am joined by Michaela, a student who studied abroad in Barbados. So before we fully get started, Michaela, would you like to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about your exchange experience?
Yes, so I am Michaela Vandenberg. I am in fourth year taking marketing management and human resource management. I had the privilege of going to Barbados last winter semester and I loved it.
Okay, great. Was Barbados one of your top choices? And if so, what was the reason why you wanted to go to Barbados?
Yeah, so Barbados was actually my second highest choice. The reason I wanted to go is because I wanted to go somewhere on exchange that was super sunny,
Mm,
hot, had beaches. I have heard that it was a very safe country and very well developed as well. So they had a good transportation system and everything. And when I got there, I obviously realized that all of that was very true, and I'm glad I chose it.
okay, cool. Yeah, 'cause I feel like Barbados is not one of the most like popular or known options. I mean, me myself, I volunteer for CIP, and I don't think I've heard of anybody going to Barbados. Were there other Guelph students with you when you went to Barbados?
So, no, there was supposed to be one other girl that was gonna go down with me, but then she didn't end up. So I actually knew
Okay.
no one that I went with. But I loved it that way. I met a bunch of great friends that I'm still in touch with now. And it forced me to really get out of my comfort zone. So it all worked out.
Yeah, for sure. What would you say was the best part about studying in Barbados?
Well, I'm a big beach girl, so I would 100% say the beach. If we had a stressful day, an exam, me and all my friends would go get ice cream and watch the sunset on the beach, and we went for sunset swims almost every single day.
Oh my God.
I also love swimming and stuff, so it was really an unreal experience.
That's so awesome, especially like it being the winter here and you get to be on the beach doing a sunset swim in
Yeah,
in
exactly.
like January, February.
Yeah, and the weather was perfect. I think we had 2 days where it rained most of the day, but the rest
Yeah.
of it, they were hot enough to go to the beach every single day. And the water
Wow.
was unreal too. So
Okay. Did you do any traveling while you were there, or did you mostly just stay in Barbados and like really get to know where you were staying?
I stayed in Barbados. Before going there, I thought that there'd be a way that you could take like ships or boat over to other islands, but you
Yeah.
can't. You have to fly. And it's pretty pricey to fly to the other islands too, so I chose to just stay on the island and explore. But most of the exchange students did that as well. So we had a big group of us, and we went to every end of the island and really explored it.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a really good way to do it because I know a lot of people who go on exchange as kind of a way that they can travel around the places around them. But I think that's cool in that you really got to know the island of Barbados and that you were just there the whole time. Okay, what would you say was the largest challenge you faced during your time abroad?
Well, I went into it with only high expectations.
Right.
And for some reason, I was not nervous at all. Like, I never had a
Wow.
night where I couldn't sleep because I was nervous, nothing like that. Hopping on the flight, I wasn't nervous. And I had never been this long away from home either. And I didn't know anyone going either. So it was really
Yeah.
weird for me not to be nervous, but I think my expectations were just so high. And then the first night I got there, my flight was super delayed, so I didn't get there till it was dark. And then the showers only had cold water. And there was like nowhere to get food and no food on. Like there was just a bunch of stuff that happened that were totally out of the university's control. But I
Yeah.
think my expectations were just that it was going to be the most perfect exchange ever. Nothing was going to go wrong. It was going to be so easy. And you definitely have to learn to navigate a lot of things on your own. The transportation system, for one, was very different there than it is here. Just the way the culture is there was a total adjustment to me as well. I love the culture there, but totally different than it is here. Very slow, which you would expect on an island, but
Mm.
coming from somewhere where you can get everything so fast, everything delivered right to your doorstep. Going there was definitely a challenge.
Okay, in what way would you say the transportation was different? Like, were you mostly like traveling by bus, or was it like taxis?
So there was one university taxi that we could take, and that's what took me home from the airport. But the night my flight landed, the taxi was 2 hours late, so I was stuck
Oh,
at the airport. And then it didn't even give us a discount. Like I said, it's a slower life there. And your taxi could be late because he's just talking to someone or picked up an
right.
extra rat, right? And it's
Yeah.
just there, it's normalized to just relax, enjoy your time, no rush. But I'm so used to fast pace. Like you order a taxi in Guelph,
For sure.
it's at your house in 5 minutes, takes you where you want to go. If it's late, you get a discount, that kind of thing. And then also, so the main way we traveled, it was $1.50 only, and you could get across the entire island.
Wow.
And you hopped in these almost kidnapper-looking vans, and you would just be like sitting on people's laps. They'd be so full, but they were the cheapest way of transportation, and they would have certain stops they went to. So if they didn't go to your stop, there was no way you could really get to your stop. You just had to walk. So it was a lot of walking too.
Mm.
And it was really hot. It was like 35 degrees. So especially if you're getting groceries and then you have to walk in the 35
Oh,
degrees to
yeah.
your bus stop, but then you're super hot already and then you get on this packed little kind of upper van looking thing. Just total adjustment. It was a lot of fun. They always had the music cranked up. Drivers were definitely didn't have the regulations they had here, so they were
Mm.
going fast and whipping around corners. It was a fun experience, but at first, it was definitely a hard adjustment.
Okay, cool. You mentioned groceries and the cost of things. Were things generally like more affordable there, would you say, than Canada? And also, what was the food like? Did you find that you were eating the same food as you were when you were in Guelph, or did you have to like adjust your diet a little bit to the culture?
So I had the expectation that the food would be very affordable, especially the fresh fruit, which I was super excited for.
Yeah.
It wasn't, because it's such a small island and it's a very rich island, like very rich. The food was insane. Like a
Mm.
bag of Doritos at one of the stores I went to was $18.
Oh,
Fresh fruit, like a normal sized pineapple was $16. So definitely had to adjust how I was eating. Even beef was very expensive, so they had chickens on the island. So chicken was pretty reasonable, but beef was very expensive too. So I ate a lot of pasta and
yeah.
chicken. And sweet potatoes are pretty reasonable, so I had sweet potatoes and chicken a lot. And then for breakfast, yogurt was really pricey too. But
Mm.
by the end of it, I just ended up accepting the fact because you
Yeah.
still gotta eat while you're down there and you still gotta eat good. So
Yeah.
definitely an adjustment to the prices and not what I was expecting, but it makes sense because it's an island, so they have to import all their goods.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so shifting over to a little bit more of the studying part of study abroad, how would you compare the academics at the University of West Indies to Guelph?
So the biggest shocker to me was that West Indies, if they have exams in the course, they have to be over 50% of your grade. So one of my
Okay.
courses had an 85% exam, and it was international relations. So that part of it's tough because this whole semester, basically, most of your grade is going to be the exam, and then they have
Yeah.
like one or two assignments in between. I also obviously had never taken a course at the school before, so I didn't know the expectations of the teachers. Um, but that being said, some of the courses were way easier than others. Like one of my courses was a workout class, and it went towards my degree, and we had 8:30 a.m. workouts. And like one of the Fridays, for example, we just did a workout on the beach and then all went swimming together.
Wow.
So, yeah, the classes totally varied depending on the prof and what the class was about. But yes.
Yeah. How were the class sizes? Was it generally a little bit smaller, or were you in like large, like multiple hundreds of people?
Definitely smaller. One of my classes actually only had 8 people. It was one of my favorite
Wow.
classes because you really got to know the prof and it was very interactive. But one of my classes did have, I think 90 people was my largest class, and that's the largest class they offer there, I'm pretty sure, is
Okay.
90. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. You talked about when you first arrived, you dealt with a cold shower. What was your accommodation like?
Oh yeah, so the accommodation was actually really cool. They have three different residences there, and I got my first choice, which was Frank Worrell Hall. So basically, you have six rooms on a floor, and there's, I think it's 10 buildings with three floors each, and they're all beautifully colored, bright buildings. They look total beach house vibes. And then inside, I got lucky because mine had a newly renovated kitchen. And then the living room area, all the walls open up. So it's basically like you're outside in the living room because you just
Oh,
open it all up, which is super cool, except for the animals that get in. And then all the windows too, they all don't have screens. So you just open the windows and it's not like a glass window. It's like, I think it's panel windows, if that makes sense.
okay.
But yeah, the bedrooms, I would say they're similar size to South bedrooms at Guelph,
Hmm.
except they're a lot nicer. They're white. You get your own sink in your bedroom, and then there's a lot of closet space as well.
Okay, and this was on campus where you were living?
Yep, this is on campus.
Okay, very good. And were you when you accepted to go study abroad, were you guaranteed this residence, or did you have to like apply for it and there was like a chance you wouldn't get in?
There was a chance I wouldn't get it. There was a couple exchange students who got their last choice, but majority got their first or second choice. There's really no bad option. I mean, the other one was farther away from school,
Yeah.
but it was closer to the beach and they had AC. We didn't have AC in ours, so for sleeping, that was tough, but we were more central on campus, and in my opinion, it was the cutest, best looking residence.
Right. So you were guaranteed one of the residences at least.
Yeah, you would
Okay.
100% get a residence if you applied for one.
Okay. Okay, good. That's good to know. We might have covered this, but what was something that you weren't expecting about your experience?
Um, I would say I wasn't expecting for all the exchange people to get along so good. There was a
Hmm.
group of 25 of us on exchange, and we all hung out in a big group together most of the time. And even when we would go separate, we'd still invite everybody. Like everybody got along so good, and it wasn't cliquey at all or anything. It was just a lot of fun.
Okay. So yeah, from my experience and like hearing from what other people are saying is that when you go on exchange, you and the other exchange students, it's like a little mini community of just like exchange students from
Yeah,
all around the world,
exactly.
which I think is really cool.
It is really, really cool.
Yeah. What would you say is your favorite memory from your exchange?
Oh, that's a tough question. I would say my top memory was a bunch of my friends from home came down, and then a bunch of my exchange friends came too, and we all went on a catamaran for the day. We went to a bunch of snorkel locations, and then there was unlimited food, unlimited drinks, and we were just out on the ocean all day.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Did you find that you had a lot of time to do excursions like this or time off to do things from school, or was the school fairly intense?
Yeah, so the nice part about the school there is you kind of can choose your schedule like you can here. They show
Mm.
you all the class times that you're gonna have. So I strategically scheduled mine. So I only had one class Monday and it was the 8:30, and one class Friday and it was the 8:30. And then I had one class, I think I had two classes Tuesday and one Thursday. And then Wednesday I had classes from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. So that
Oh,
was my rough, or it was 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. So that was my rough
wow.
day. But the rest of the week I could travel. And yeah, sometimes I would miss my classes too, so that I could go
Right.
on more excursions and stuff. But most of the time I made all my classes and still had a ton of time to travel.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then do you have any advice for anyone considering studying abroad in Barbados or just studying abroad in general?
Well, when I was gonna study abroad in Barbados, a lot of people said to me, go to Europe or something that so that
Yeah.
you can actually travel around. And a lot of people also asked me, why would you go to Barbados? And I mean, fair question. It's a smaller island, but I say 100% go. It was probably one of the most fun experiences of my life. The people there, the culture there, it's all amazing. The food, like I didn't really get into this earlier, but their food is phenomenal.
Mm.
Their beaches are unreal. So blue, the water is so blue, the sand's so clean. Even the activities, like the nightlife there is amazing. Yeah, I absolutely loved it, and I 100% encourage people if they're thinking about it and they like the beach, they like snorkeling, scuba diving, surfing, go.
Okay, yeah.
100%.
So even though it was a little bit more unconventional, you are glad that you chose it over a more like Central European location or like Australia or something that's more popular.
Yeah, I'm so glad I chose it. I'd say too, like you don't think that there's that much to do on the island, but there is. Like we could have stayed there for more months and still had so much left on our bucket list. Especially like surfing's so cool there because it's a great island to surf on. They
Mm.
also, till now, have no reportings of shark attacks or anything, and I'm
Wow.
scared of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was very, very comfortable in the water. Snorkeling there is amazing because it's so clear. You can snorkel at any beach. The restaurants are amazing. The atmosphere is amazing. And yeah, the culture is a lot of fun. So.
Okay, good. All right, do you have any closing opinions or anything else that we haven't kind of covered about your exchange in Barbados or about the island as a whole?
I would say I'll give recommendations if people are
Yeah.
visiting. So, Cool Runnings Catamaran, that's what I kind of already talked about. It's phenomenal. And then if you go to, there's an island bus that takes you around on an island tour. Amazing island tour. It's really cool to see the island too because you think it's all beach, but the can't remember what coast it is. But one of the coasts, I think it's the southern coast, is beachy, and then the other coast is more like that's where they have the big surf competitions. We got the privilege of attending one of them, and very cool to see. They also have more farmland there, and it's all mountains. So it's not as
Oh,
much
wow.
beach as you would expect. There's lots of great hike spots and stuff too there.
Okay, so a little bit more diverse than you
Yes,
would think.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Very good. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today, Michaela. That's all we have for today. If you are looking for more information about studying abroad, you can attend one of our info sessions, which are happening weekly on Mondays at 1 p.m. and Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Additionally, you can go to our website, uoakguelph.ca/CIP, or send us an email at cip@uoakguelph.ca. And you can stay tuned for our next episode where we look to unpack the study abroad experience further.